Hey everyone, welcome back to She Burbs Podcast. I am your Hey everyone, welcome back to She Burbs Podcast. I am your host, Brooke Wright.
Everyone, welcome back to She Burbs Podcast. Today's guest is Abel Gray. Hey Abel.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast today and chatting with me.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad we could make it work after like 3 attempts.
So, can you tell our listeners how long you've been a musician and what inspired you to create the music you create?
Oh man. Okay. Geez, that's a loaded question. Okay. Off the bat. Well, I was originally really into film, and through that I found out how much like music impacted what you were watching and viewing, and then I realized the medium I really wanted to pursue was music, and that was about right before I went into college. So during my like college experience, I pursued music as like a side like hobby almost. It just in my free time and when I could, and then eventually when I graduated and stuff, I was able to like continue growing it over time to the point where now I can pursue it, you know, not to where I want to yet, but it's getting there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you don't do it full time, like it's not your career yet, or do you?
I mean, I'd love for it to be my full-time career. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, jumping in where I can when I can, whether that be digital media or stuff on event sides. Yeah, wherever I can plug myself in, I will.
Nice. So can you explain your creative process?
Creative process is a lot of hair pulling. No, it's you know, you're given this blank like project file, and you know, it's whatever you want to put into it. So I guess for me, I always start off with creating chords. I find that to be the easiest way to go about things. And then from there, you know, structure. Yeah, I mean, once you have the chords from there, you can develop a bass line super easy. You can create leads and melodies, switch ups here and there. But yeah, once I have my chords down, I'm usually good to go for the rest of the track.
Nice. So, I do have a question. Hold on one second. So, have you ever dealt with performance anxiety? Because I know I've interviewed the guy from Pink Floyd. I've interviewed him, and he performs in front of millions of people. So, I know you do the same thing. So, do you ever get nervous or have anxiety or anything?
Oh, all the time. Big shout out to crippling social anxiety before getting on stage. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely every time I get on stage, it's scary. It's like nerves are going, but you know, you just have to send it. You got to give it your all. You got to just do the best you can. There's going to be some hiccups here and there, probably, usually, but you can play them off. And yeah, each time I do it, it gets easier and easier, but I don't think the nerves will ever go away.
Nice. So have you ever like traveled to different like states and performed like your music?
Yeah, absolutely. I've gone like out of state. I've gone out of country. Yeah, so actually I've been playing a lot down in Madison, or up in Madison, my bad. Directionally challenged as well. And that's been great. I love performing there. It's so intimate and cool. And then of course overseas is amazing as well. Definitely want to broaden my horizons to more states around me. But that, you know, that'll just come with time.
Yeah. Hopefully you get to come to Louisville. We finally picked up on the music scene a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have Louder Than Life, but that's about it. But
nice.
every now and then we have like people come to the Yum Center, but that's it.
But, yeah, I mean, I'd love to if I got the opportunity.
Yeah. So do you ever collaborate with others, or do you just perform by yourself, like just do your music by yourself?
No, I definitely love collaboration.
Mhm,
Whether that's with another artist who's also producing music, because
mhm,
it's great to find someone who not only like, it's great when you have someone who makes a similar style as you, because then you can really nail a sound you're going for. It's also
mhm,
awesome when you're collaborating with someone who makes different style than you, because I'm all about, new experiences and trying new things.
mhm.
So getting to step out of the box I kind of sometimes put myself in is great. And then on top of that, with my songs, I like collaborate with vocalists a lot.
Um,
And to the point where I'll like go and perform live now and they'll come and sing with me too at the shows. So it's a really cool experience where we went from, writing the lyrics and recording in a studio to now here we are performing it on the stage in front of all these people.
wow, that's cool. So how do you all interact with your fans and respond to your fans?
Um, well, I definitely, whenever I get a message or anything, I always try my best to respond to it. I'll get a lot of questions sometimes from other producers and to everyone and answer as best as I can, because when I was starting out, I had people who were, answering these questions for me and helping me out, and I would not be here if I didn't have that
Yeah.
guidance. So I always love to like pay it forward whenever I can.
Nice, nice. So what's your favorite part about this line of work?
Um, hmm. I think the best thing is when you're on a stage and you're playing your music
Yeah.
and people are just like, I don't know, the energy, just how they're reacting to it when people really go crazy over a song or something live. Nothing beats that. When you look out and you see like everyone with their hands up, jumping around and stuff.
Nice. It is good whenever you write the music and then you see people dancing to it and you're like, I did that.
Exactly. It's that gratification.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. So do you have any like upcoming music coming out for the new year or anything like that? Or working
Yeah,
on an
I
album?
have a lot of stuff for the new year. I released a lot of stuff at the beginning of this year and
Mhm,
stuff like sporadically throughout, and that's just because there's been a lot going on the back end. I'm gonna
mhm.
try to get two tracks out before the year ends, and they're essentially covers of remixes that I play at my
Oh,
shows.
nice.
Um, they seem to be received well, so I'm due to like copyright and all the red tape. You can't just release a remix onto Spotify and stuff without going through all the channels and getting okays from people. So I'm taking
Wow.
an extra step, turning them into covers, having other vocalists on them, so I can release them and people can hear them as well, outside of just seeing me live.
Nice. So what platforms can our listeners go to listen to your music?
All of them,
All of them?
every single streaming platform.
Wow. Wow, that's cool. So can you tell us about your favorite performance venues like that you performed at?
um, wow. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to give a shout out to Liquid and Madison. Um, when I was, they always put me on. They've been super nice and super supportive of my project.
Mhm.
And every time I go there, it just feels like I'm at a second home, because I like knowing everyone there over the years that it's been going on. It's just great to have that like familiar vibe when you walk in. Um,
Mhm.
on top of that, the Mid in Chicago before it closed, that was
Uh,
a venue that I was so happy I got to play, because I remember going there, definitely not underage with a fake ID, to see shows and being like, I can't wait to one day I'll be on that stage, and I got to before it closed. So that was a big moment for me. And then on top of that, probably just in Florence, there's a club Space. Um, that was really cool. That was like when I had a different artist name. I just went over there one summer with all my equipment and just hustled to get gigs in a different country, and it panned out, and I played like the biggest club there. And it was one of the coolest experiences, and how it's all set out. It's really cool aesthetic, and yeah.
Wow. Do you think they'll ever invite you back to go back there?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm still in contact with some people. It's just everything kind of got screwed up due to COVID. Like
Yeah,
my whole industry was essentially bombed, and
man.
everyone couldn't do anything. So whenever I guess the travel gets a little more lenient and stuff really opens up, maybe in a year or two, I'd love to go back out there and do like a run for another month and just hit a bunch of clubs.
Definitely, definitely. So, how come you don't like ever live stream? Like, I know this guy, he like live streams on Facebook all the time. Like, he live streams on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. So, you never thought of doing that, like making money that way?
So actually so I'm actually working towards this other project,
Mhm.
starting a collective in well in Chicago, but also more than just Chicago.
Mhm.
Um, and we'll be utilizing live streaming aspects there is like to promote it and do like feedback streams for other artists.
Mhm.
Um, really just helping to build a community. But yeah, we will be going more in the live stream route next year with
Nice.
a huge roster of amazing artists.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Because a lot of the celebrities that I've interviewed, that's what they do when COVID went down. They started like live streaming and stuff. So that's how they made their money. So I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool. So,
Yeah,
so
it
what?
was definitely.
Go ahead. What was you gonna
Oh
say?
no, I would say it's definitely a great avenue to pursue, especially during that time. I just utilized that time to hunker down and finish up a bunch of music that I needed to.
Oh yeah. So what advice would you give for our listeners who want to follow in your footsteps, like who want to pursue that kind of music that you
Um, Never give up. Like, just keep going at it. It is a struggle. It's a lot of late nights in front of a computer screen
do? Hmm.
where no one will ever understand how much work you put into whether it's EQing a snare or finding a right sound, or you just can't give up. You got to keep pushing through it because it does get easier. It gets better. You actually start to make this leeway. And yeah, I mean, and also don't be afraid to ask for help from other people, producers.
Hmm.
And YouTube is probably the best place
Yeah.
you can learn the most. But that's with every profession, I feel like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It does help because that's where I've been doing my speaking, like my public speaking. So yeah, it
Oh,
does
yeah.
help.
Yeah, YouTube is phenomenal.
I want to thank you so much, Abel, for coming on my podcast today and chatting with me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you
You
so
have
much for having me.
you have a great day.
Thank you as well.
Bye. Hey everyone, I want to thank you all so much for listening to my interview with Abel Gray. If you want to check out his music, like he said, he is on all platforms to streaming platforms for music. So if you want to check out any of his music, then you can go on there and see what he's up to. I first came across Abel when I was on Instagram and listened to some of his music. He has really great music. It's really great. Like it's instrumental. It's more DJing. It's instrumental, and like he said, he does collaborate with other people. So there is music too, like vocals. So I hope you all check out his music. I have linked it within my website. You can go on my website. It is linked to this podcast episode. So when you go on my website, go and find Abel Gray. He is at the beginning because he's the newest interview that I had. So he's at the beginning. So check out his music. I have linked all of the platforms that his music is on. So go check it out. Thank you all so much for supporting my podcast. Have a great day and make great choices. Bye.